And check out this weed. It's about 54.5 inches tall, about 4.5 feet. I'm 6'1", and it almost comes up to my shoulders. The woman came down this street, lost control about the time she hit the curb, then went through the yard. You can kind of see the tire tracks in the yard before slamming into the two vehicles in the driveway. Guys, I'm in one of our news cars because I want to show you exactly how GPS works. Right now we have it set to head down Lee Boulevard. Cameron officials tell me their enrollment is up 13%. Let me take you over here and show you just how thick this is over here. This could take several days to melt some of this away. Again, she is expected to make her initial appearance in Jackson County Court behind me on Friday. Reporting live from the Jackson County Courthouse in Altus, Garret, 7 News. Amy's grandparents say she took this very road to church on Sundays. She walked about 2 blocks down the road. Hey guys, that's right, I am live where the lights have just went up on the tree. I'm going to step out of the shot for just a second so you can see the lights. Now the lights have just went up, but there are many more to be lit. Now the more lights that are lit, the more hospice will be able to help families like the Massids. Guys, the accident happened next to a senior citizen center where senior citizens frequently cross the street in wheelchairs. The bus had just come from a fire safety show the fire department was putting on. The man had just gotten into the street. He hit the crosswalk button and then got into the street, and the bus turning right hit him. Police say the man was dragged under the bus for at least 20 feet. They say the fact that the man didn't have a flag on his wheelchair, plus the fact that the bus's design prevents the driver from seeing what's directly below him, helped contribute to the accident.
Oh God! Please put me down. Oh God! Oh.
Dozens of handicapped people in Altus want changes after a resident there in a wheelchair was hit by a school bus last week.
You saw it here first. The accident happened near the Towers Apartments where a lot of handicapped people live. It's located at the busy intersection of Commerce and Main. Concerned citizens met today with the chief of police and city council members. They told them that particular intersection is just too dangerous, so they're asking for everything from longer stoplights to handicap signs and even a no right turn on red ordinance.
7 News reporter Garret was at that meeting today too. And Garret, does it look as if the city's going to comply with the requests?
Guys, they said the biggest problem is that Main Street is actually not a street at all. It's a state highway which is controlled by the Department of Transportation, and even the smallest change on Main Street has to be approved through them. But as I found out, that's of little comfort to those who use the street every day.
Back later.
A.V. Rico has to walk across this intersection every day to run errands or get groceries. The problem is Rico is blind, and that can make something as simple as crossing the street a deadly maneuver.
For some reason or another, are always there to make their turn at the same time I take off. And there's been 3 times already that I almost got hit, and I even hit a few with a cane.
Rico wants the city to stop drivers from being able to make a right turn on red, but Police Chief Mike Patterson says they've asked the Oklahoma Department of Transportation about that before. No dice.
Well, it helps vent off a lot of traffic. You don't back up as much when people can make the right turn on red when know where the traffic's coming. So at this intersection here, for example, on a busy day, it'll back up 400 or 500 feet.
There are a few things the city can do without ODOT's permission, though. Patterson says he'll talk with a technician about making the lights longer and also about installing some possible audible sounds. Until that can be done, A.V. Rico has a message for Altus drivers.
It's just be careful when you're driving. You know, give that right away to the handicap or anybody that crosses the street.
Chief Patterson says another thing they're going to do that might help is to step up enforcement in the area. He says they plan to station a plainclothes policeman at the intersection to watch for people going too fast or violating other rules of the road. Back to you.
Thank you, Garret. And Rico is not the only handicapped person who uses that particular intersection. There are also at least 30 others at today's meeting who used motorized scooters, wheelchairs, or walkers.
Now, everyone in Altus is still without power 4 days after the storm. The crews have been working nonstop there to try and get those power poles fixed that fell because of the weight of the ice. Officials expect some power to be back on within the next 24 hours, but they aren't sure when relief will come. For everyone else, 7 News reporter Garret Cryer went to Altus today to see how people are coping and just what kind of progress emergency officials think they've made there. Garret?
Dave, Emergency Manager Lloyd Colston said they are making progress even if you can't see it. He says the National Guard has brought in generators for the water treatment plants and shelters, but that's still not much comfort to families like the Maldonados who are still searching for answers.
Went right through the windshield. Bad storm we got. Can't fool around with Mother Nature.
Not only have the Maldonados been without power for 4 days, they've been down a car too.
I didn't think it did any damage until my husband came home at lunch and noticed that it was through the windshield.
So they have no power, no car, and now their mother desperately needs treatments for her dialysis.
She missed Thursday's dialysis treatment and Saturdays because we weren't able to get her through. We just moved all that stuff out today, and we've been out here about 2 hours getting all that stuff out of the way.
And while the Maldonados worked in their driveway, electric crews worked all over town. Altus Emergency Manager Lloyd Colston says the severity of the storm, plus other factors like weather, will delay progress.
This compares to the January 2000 storm in northeast Oklahoma, where people were without power for 14 days because of the infrastructure damage in that area.
Colston says President Obama's disaster declaration for Oklahoma could also speed things up, since it frees up federal money for local responders.
Patience is a virtue. Just be patient. We will get through this. This is only temporary. We had power 4 days ago. We don't have power now. In 4 days, we've made progress.
As for the Maldonados, they're keeping their head up as best they can.
Well, it stinks, but I guess you got to try to make the most of it. Try to be optimistic about it, be upbeat. Don't let it get you down.
Colston says the hospital and areas around it will begin to get electricity back first, then they'll work their way out into other areas in Altus. Back to you.
And Colston says in the meantime, people should be careful about plugging generators directly into their home. He says that charges the lines outside and makes it deadly for linemen. A Grinch swiped some Christmas decorations from a Lawton family and might have taken their Christmas spirit too. The Ballar family says some Noel candles, which have been in their family for at least 20 years, are now gone. They also say the thief or thieves tried to take a Santa Claus decoration, which has been in their family for almost 40 years. And the family says this is not the first time something like this has happened. 7 News reporter Garret Cryer has tonight's big story. He is live at the home tonight. So Garret, what else has happened to them and what are they doing about it now?
Well, Dave, first of all, I'm going to step out of the shot and I'm going to show you all the decorations are gone, but in their place they put up a few signs outside. One says stealing is wrong. The family says they got fed up after the same thing happened to them last year when an elephant decoration was stolen. The Ballar family took down their Christmas decorations today because they say they'd like to keep them.
But I am putting it up this year because I'm afraid they're going to come back and take it.
Arlette Ballar says it's something she'd rather not do and tried to put off after someone stole her elephant display last year.
He was really cute. I can't find him. I've looked all over.
So this year they started staking their decorations down, but the thieves still tried to steal Santa. They pulled him off the stake but left him lying on the ground thanks to some extra weight the family had added.
And we filled it full of mud and then we shoved him in the hole, and so it formed rocks when it dried, and so it makes him really heavy to lift up and carry away. He probably weighs about 50 pounds.
But now that it's happened a second time, they've decided they don't want to chance something so sacred to their family being stolen. Arlette says her mother passed the Santa on down after she died from cancer.
And if they take the Santa Claus, that'll break my heart because my mother's not around anymore. And she only got to meet my son out of my 4 boys.
Arlette's son Clayton drove in from Midwest City to help take down the decorations.
What's going to stop them now this time? Nothing, obviously. It stopped them the first 2 times they did it. What's going to stop them now?
He says not even the Christmas spirit would stop them.
Somebody wants to take somebody else's stuff and ruin their Christmas.
It means more to me than anything.
Arlette says she's still debating on whether she's going to put up any decorations next year. She says if the thief would return the Noel candles, she would lean more towards decorating next year. Reporting live from East Lawton, Garret Cryer, 7 News.
And Arlette says she thinks the thieves are probably kids who don't know any better.